Hey everyone, it's Rachawl. So today I wanted to talk about something that's extremely important, something that's really important to me, and something that should be important to you as well. It's a topic that gets looked over a lot, something that gets forgotten about until it's too late. This is going to be a video talking about sun safety, dangers that it can have to our skin, UV rays and how they work, and ways that we can prevent damage to our skin. This is also going to be a video where we talk about skin checks and when to go see a doctor. Like I said, this is something that's very important to me, and I will share it to the ends of the earth to get the point across to people that taking care of your skin and protecting it from the sun is so important. So I know what you're thinking, vitamin D, it's good for us, right? It's something that actually helps prevent seasonal depression. So why are people telling you to avoid the sun if it gives us the vitamin that we need? Essentially, there's tons of reasons to avoid the sun. Vitamin D is actually easily attainable by just sitting in the sun for 10 to 15 minutes. And it doesn't even have to be direct sunlight. It could be sitting in your car for 10 minutes, sitting in the shade for 10 minutes, as long as you're outside and there's any type of rays bouncing towards you or near a really bright window, you're going to get the vitamin D that you need. You do not need to be in direct sunlight exposure for longer than 10 to 15 minutes to get that vitamin D. So to start this video, let's talk about the aesthetic part of sun damage. This is the part that most people actually are affected by telling people that their skin is going to age sooner, you're going to get fine lines and wrinkles sooner, and you're going to get sunspots all over your skin. This is something that actually gets people thinking, okay, maybe I should wear sunscreen. So this is the thing I like to talk about first, because it does get people's attention and it does make you realize how intense the sun actually can be. You can start by getting sunspots, which are they look like freckles, but they're a little bit bigger and they tend to be a little more splotchier than a freckle. You usually get these in your 30s to 40s, but if you have severe sun exposure, like you're using tanning beds or you're going out and tanning every single summer and even during other seasons, you can start to get sunspots earlier. These can appear on your face, your arms, your legs, anywhere where the sun gets to. Now, essentially, you can also get things like white spots. White spots are another sign of sun damage, and these can actually be more noticeable even if you get a tan. They don't go away. So the white spots are something that I actually have already at the age of 25, and I actually didn't go into the sun very much as a child. I did get sunburn a few times in my childhood, but I wore sweatshirts during the summer because I got sunburned so easily. For me to have white spots, I'm very fair-skinned, so I'm very susceptible to sun damage. But the fact that I already have them at 25 is pretty telling of how much the sun can damage you, even if you're not tanning every summer. Why does the sun do this to us? If you think about it, the sun emits a bunch of different types of rays. There's two that I want to focus on. There's the UVA and the UVB. So the UVA rays are longer rays. These are the ones that actually penetrate deepest into the skin. I'm talking all the way down to the connective tissue. This is through all the layers of your skin. Now, UVAs are not usually responsible for skin cancer. The UVA rays are the ones that are responsible for all of the skin damage and the skin aging. You think about it, it's going all the way down to your connective tissue. There's no healing. So as your skin sheds off, it's still going to be exposing the damaged skin because the UVA rays have damaged all the way down to the very bottom. No matter how many exfoliants you do, no matter how many years you stay out of the sun, that damage is already done and it will be there for the rest of your life. Now, the UVB rays are a little bit shorter, but these are the ones that cause cancer. These are the ones that burn your skin. So the UVB rays are definitely the more dangerous ones to look out for, but they go hand in hand with UVA, so you can't have UVA without UVB. So the UVB are the ones that cause skin cancer and all the sunburns that you're going to get this year. Now, what happens to our skin when we're getting burnt? So when you're standing in direct sunlight, your skin cells are constantly healing themselves to prevent the burning from starting. So if you think about it, your skin cells can only repair themselves so quickly. So after about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on your skin type and the UV levels, these cells can't keep up anymore and you will start to burn. There are people out there that actually they don't have that process. Their skin cells don't repair themselves from sun damage. So this is why there's people out there that literally cannot go in the sun ever because their skin will literally burn off of them. Your scales are trying to keep up, but they just can't. Now, how does sun damage go from just sun damage to cancer? So if you think about it, when you're exposed to the sun enough, those rays actually start to affect the DNA in your skin. So when your DNA starts to get mutated, it starts to grow rapidly, which creates moles, tumors, and other types of things that you can sometimes see on your skin. So these cells just continue to grow, they continue to mutate, and sometimes they can turn malignant, which means cancerous. Malignant usually means that it'll start to spread elsewhere. Benign moles and benign tumors tend to stay within themselves. They don't go anywhere, they don't become cancerous, but they can become cancerous as well. So it's really important to keep an eye on your skin and see if there's any new moles or small little bumps that are starting to appear. Tumors and moles that can be cancerous can even appear on places that don't see the sun. I'm talking the inside of your mouth, your underarms, your groin, anywhere that doesn't see the sun, the bottom of your feet. These are places that can grow cancerous tumors from skin cancer. So how can we protect ourselves? There's a ton of ways to protect yourself from these UV rays. There's the Apple Watch feature where you can look at the UV levels every day that you're outside. So you can actually make it your watch face and you can see it every time you look at your Apple Watch. And I'm sure every other smartwatch out there does something similar now. You can also get any weather app on your phone that's going to show you the UV levels for the day. Now the UV levels change throughout the day. So you may get out at 11 a.m. and see, oh, it's only a 4. But when it comes to that 12 to 4 period in the afternoon, that's when it jumps up to the 8, 9, 10, and all the way up to 15. The best way to protect ourselves from the UV rays are obviously sunscreen, but also physical covers, such as hats, long sleeve shirts, umbrellas, anything that actually creates shade over your body away from the rays. The interesting thing is that UVA rays actually don't work super well with chemical sunscreens. They tend to actually be better warded off with physical covers, such as the hats, the sleeves, and the umbrellas, and just seeking shade in general. So the UVB, the cancer-causing ones, they work well with sunscreen, but the UVA, the ones that cause the aging and the one that cause sunburns, are the ones that are better off with shade, hats, and long sleeves. So how does sunscreen work? Basically, when you look at the UV levels for the day, every UV level means something. So a 0 to 2 means it would take about an hour for your skin to burn for the average person. Now, as you go up the UV level scale, the sooner and sooner you'll begin to burn within just minutes. If you're at a 15 UV level, you have 10 to 15 minutes before your skin actually just begins burning. So when you're at a lower level UV, let's say it takes 30 minutes for you to start burning, and you put an SPF 15 on. That's going to give you 15 extra minutes until your skin begins to burn. So if you are regularly at 30 minutes, you put an SPF 15 on, that's going to give you 45 minutes before your skin begins to burn. So SPF 30 would be an extra 30 minutes. So you get about an hour of coverage before your skin begins to burn from the sun. Sunscreen works great, but it can be broken down chemically if you're exposed to water, sweat, or even just drying off with a towel. So make sure that you're reapplying every 30 to 45 minutes when you're swimming or if you're sweating a lot, because the chemical sunscreens, they break down and they stop working as well. I'm gonna place a chart in the video so you can see how the UV levels work and how many minutes you have during each UV level. It's super important to keep an eye on this if you're out hiking, if you're going to parties throughout the day. Usually between 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. is the highest, and then around 6 and 7 p.m., the UV levels tend to actually be non-existent. So keep an eye on these UV levels and learn what they mean. That way you can protect yourself and everyone else around you. Try to go inside during these hours and these high UV level times. So what's a skin check and how do I do one? How do I get one? Basically, a skin check is where, well, you can do one at home. You're going to look at the moles that you have currently. You're going to look at new moles. And if you do find new moles or new types of skin lesions, you're going to take pictures of them. This is the best way to document any changes with your skin. So make sure to check everything behind your ears, back of your neck, places that you don't look at all the time. It's super important to have someone else take the picture too, so they can help you get a better angle of it. Now, if you notice the moles are changing within 2 months, that's usually consistent with something that needs to be looked at by a doctor. If there's no change within 2 months, it's usually okay, but if you still have any concerns with a new mole or lesion that pops up, definitely call your doctor and have them come look at it. You can also go to the doctor and get what's called a mole mapping. I don't know the terminology for other places, but I know that's what they call it here. Basically, they take picture of your whole body. They take pictures of all of your moles. They make marks in your chart of where they all are, the size, the general vicinity of where they are, how big they are, their color, their shapes. And that way, when you go in for your yearly exam, they can compare it then. Especially if you're in the sun a lot, it's super important to have a mole mapping done, even if you do it at home. Something that any dermatologist will tell you are going to be the A, B, C, D, E of skin cancer, just moles in general. So how it works is it all stands for something that you want to look for in a mole. So when you see a new mole pop up, these are the things you're going to look at. The A is asymmetry. Is it symmetrical? Is one side the same as the other? That's not symmetrical. So that is something that may need to be seen by a doctor. B is for borders. So if the borders seem inconsistent or there's no borders at all and it just seems to blend into the rest of your skin, that's another thing that you'll want to get seen by a doctor. C is for color. The color should be brown. If it's a really, really dark black, if it's a yellowish color, and if it's not consistent in color, that's something that you'll want to be seen by a doctor as well for. D is for diameter. Now, the diameter of a normal mole should be less than that of about of a pencil eraser. So the end of a pencil eraser, if you look at it and your mole is bigger than that, then you definitely want to get it checked out by a doctor. E is for evolution. Evolution means it's changing. So if you ever see any of your moles or skin lesions changing, you definitely want to be seen by a doctor as well. But what if you have dark skin? Does this mean that you're immune to the sun? Does this mean that you don't get sunburn? And if you do have dark skin, you may notice that you actually don't get sunburn very often. Melanin is a crazy thing. Melanin definitely has its pros. The pros can be you're not as sunburned easily. Statistically, your risk for skin cancer is lower than people with fair skin. If you do have high melanin, you actually don't absorb as much vitamin D as people with lighter skin. So you do have to make sure that you do get your 10 to 15 minutes a day in the sun or in direct sunlight. And you can also take supplements as well, or just get it in a regular diet. This insane idea that darker skinned people do not need sunscreen is not something that's been passed down by generations and is just uneducated families. This is actually something that started in the medical community in the mid-1900s. Dermatologists actually believed that Black people were sun immune. And we don't really know where this came from. We know that maybe they just didn't want to be treating Black people in their clinics, but essentially they would tell Black people that they were safe from the sun and there was no reason to be seeing a dermatologist. They didn't need to put sunscreen on and that they were immune to the sun. There's tons of other things in the medical community that are frustrating like this, such as Black people don't feel pain as much as white people. We all know that that's not true. So this is something that stemmed from the medical community, was passed down through generations from then, and now it's pretty common knowledge. A lot of Black people don't use sunscreen because they've learned that they don't need it. Statistically, yes, you're less likely to get skin cancer if you have darker skin. But the issue is that if you do contract skin cancer, you are more likely to actually die from it. The reason for this is that if you get a new mole or a new lesion, you're less likely to see it than a fair-skinned person. It's hard for you to even tell that you have a new mole or a new freckle that you just haven't seen before. And the other issue is that sometimes doctors won't take people of color seriously when they go into the doctor saying they have a new mole. So there's a lot that goes into those statistics. You're more likely to die from skin cancer if you do get it. So this is why it's extremely important for dark-skinned people to do the mole mapping and to make sure that they're aware of all of their skin changes. Equally important to wear sunscreen. Something really cool that they're in the works right now is basically Black girl sunscreen. A lot of Black people refused to wear sunscreen because it left a white sheen on their skin and just did not look good. So to walk around with white streaks all over is not a good look. And this was really frustrating for many people of color in general. So now they're coming out with sunscreens that are less chemical and less white residue-y, so you can wear them without people knowing that you have sunscreen on, and you can take pictures and do everything that you would normally do with it on. This is a great step forward. This is something that I hope will change within the next few years, that everyone will be wearing sunscreen regardless of their skin color. All in all, please wear sunscreen. You can get daily moisturizers that have an SPF 15 or 30 in it. That's what I use every single day, even under makeup. Makeup is not enough SPF to cover you for the entire day. Any part of your body that's exposed to the sun needs to have sunscreen on it, no matter what. You need to wear sunglasses to protect your eyes from UV rays as well, as skin cancer can develop in your eyes and in the membranes around your eyes. I think our generation is doing great with learning how important drinking water is. I know it sounds silly, but it's something that our generation is really processing and how important it is. So I hope this generation can also remember how important sunscreen is, and we can protect and prevent skin cancer 100%. Skin cancer is preventable. Don't let something that's preventable take your whole life away. Thanks for watching. I'll link all the information down below as much as I can about skin cancer and where to get these special sunscreens. And I really hope that you do take this to heart and you do put sunscreen on next time you go outside. Even if you can put it on at the beginning of the day, that'll give you at least a little bit of protection. Wear long sleeves, wear hats, wear sunglasses, always, always, always. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you like this video. Let me know down in the comments if there's other things that you like to use for sun protection that maybe I haven't thought of or talked about. And I hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks.